Hello everybody, welcome back to Space Pickle Designs. Today I have an idea in mind, but basically we're going to design on the fly with the bargain bead box. And if you'd like to see what I'm going to create, then just keep on watching. So right now I thought we'd start off by, painting some of these metals. As you can see, like this toggle bar is already starting to tarnish a little bit, and that's pretty common with these like silver tone metal findings, and so I didn't want to do blue because the necklace that I want to do is half of that matte deep garnet bead and then half of a picture jasper, so I kind of wanted to keep it in the brown or red family. So I have these color paints out. We've got one that's citrine, one that is marble, and then one that is earth, and I'm actually going to bring out garnet as well. This is a really bright red, so we may have to do quite a bit of mixing to get what we want. I'm going to start off with an off-white, so I'm going to take marble, which is very white. I'm going to put some out on our pseudo palette here. I'm going to add some of this citrine and some of the earth into it. I want it to be an off-white, not necessarily a bright white. So let's see what we got going on. So let's put one drop of red. I want this to be a very like neutral, not too warm. We'll see how this looks. I'm gonna let me get a little wet wipe here. All right, so let's just go ahead and start painting. I just want some sort of dimension on this piece. We may have to do a couple coats for the look that I'm going for. We might have to layer colors as well. So let's paint the back as well. Really want to get into those grooves. That's the most important part, because we're going to take this baby wipe and wipe it off. Okay, and then our toggle. And so this looks super messy, and it is, but that's what makes it fun. And I'm just gonna dabble on some of these bead caps. This nice clay color, because it's gonna bring out some of the color in our jasper. And believe me, we're gonna use a relief block, and we're gonna use baby wipes, and so not all of it is going to be covered like it is now. We just want to make sure that we're kind of toning it down. That's my intention, at least. This could turn out completely garbage, but we'll see. So this is more of like a camel color. And we're just having fun with it. This is really messy. If you have gloves, wear those, but I don't. So I'm going to take this and kind of just take some of it off, just a little bit. For the toggle, I don't care how much stays, honestly. You can cover the whole thing. I want it to look kind of dirty, like it was dropped in clay. And I'm just gonna dab some of these bead caps. And so we're still left with some on here. There's one that kind of got away with the paint here. I'm gonna mix a little bit more. we're just playing right now, you know. It's always fun to try new things. These paints do dry incredibly fast, so it's a good and bad thing. Okay, that's a little warm. Again, we're gonna put some of that blue toned red here. Love it. Again, get in those grooves. This is a different color tone, a little bit. So that's what's going to give it a little bit of interest. And all of these, this tone, like even a little bit more of the pinker tone is found in that jasper. And so it's gonna, I think it's gonna work pretty well as long as we get some silver tone that shines through. And that's where our relief block comes in a little bit, right? So trying to get some dimension to this piece. So yeah, patina with brown on silver. Don't see that very often, but let's see if we can make it work. All right, so these are my pieces here. I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit. They dry pretty fast, so no worries there. And then I'm gonna start take a relief block to it, and I'll bring you back for that, okay? All right, everybody, so we're pretty nice and dry here. It's only been about 5 minutes, but I can touch most of these pieces without getting anything on my fingers. So we're just gonna start with, this is a relief block that I got with my paints. And I actually don't wanna take too much off of the toggle. So just when I start seeing a couple little shiny things come through, I'm gonna kind of leave this one alone. Same with the square ring, kind of just those edges is what I want to clear up. And so we got that. That looks pretty good. And now with our pendant, I just want to relieve the top pieces. So you see how shiny it is right there? We don't want to go too deep because I don't know how good the plating is on this. Probably not, it's probably not too deep, right? So we just kind of want to just hit the high points of this. A little more in the corner there. This is looking, I'm loving that. I think that looks really, really nice. And then for some of these, I'm just gonna take the relief block and lay it down. Kind of just use my finger for this one. These are kind of what our bead caps are looking like. If you're seeing like too heavy of a finish on one side, you can just rotate the bead cap. And you can do this with regular old sandpaper too, just make sure it's a super fine grit. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep looking through my bead caps. Like this one is very well painted. I want to relieve that a little bit. I want to have a little bit more of that silver, shiny silver coming through. And so that's kind of what we're going for here. I'll show you the finished product. And so you see that there's just a pop of silver there still. Because I believe I'm going to use these on the red beads and not the jasper. That could change, but that's kind of what we're going for here. So I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of these. You've seen how to do a couple, and I'll be back. One last thing I am going to do here is I'm going to put a matte glaze from Vintaj here to seal at least the pendant here and then some of the bead caps. And so I might hit the shiny glaze on the high points and keep that shine because I kind of like that. But in the crevices, I definitely want to keep it matte. So we have our matte up top, which is what I'm going to start with here. And again, we're just kind of sealing in that paint a little bit. You don't need too much. So I like using the matte first, and then you're just hitting the shiny on the high points. So we got that side. Let's go ahead and matte out some of this. I really think that shiny silver poking through looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna take some of this matte to the toggle. And then just some of these. I actually don't mind if these tarnish that much. So the sealing is just kind of for like, I don't know, rust a little bit. So I'm hitting it up with the shiny on the high points here. So you can see we're just hitting those shiny silver parts. And then some of these will get a shiny coat. I am not being too particular about this. I am not a very particular jewelry artist when it comes to stuff like this because it's meant to look used. Nothing to it but to do it, right? So I'll let these dry and then we will assemble our piece. Okay, so what I really want this to be is a simple strung necklace. And after looking at the color of the findings that I created, I did think that we needed that pop of turquoise in there. And so one side of the necklace is going to be the man-made aquaterra jasper with the matte beads with the sandy bead caps here, and then one side is going to be the picture jasper with bright silver on this side. And so it's going to be just like a dichotomy in a way. So I'm going to use soft flex here. I want it to be a simple stringing project, and I'm using the color Garnet, and it's a dark red, which is just very beautiful. So now all we have to do is kind of get what pattern we want going. And yeah, I think I want to finish the back of the necklace with some chains so we can save on some of our beads. So we will probably take the chain that was given here. It's a very dainty chain, so I will probably double that guy up. Yeah, and so here's where the creative magic happens here. We just sit here and play with patterns until we like it. Okay, so you kind of saw the creative process there. I did change my mind a little bit. I was gonna do color blocking, like one very red side and one picture jasper side. However, when I was looking at the matte beads, like the holes looked a little like I didn't want them to be on the ends, and they didn't look very good with the bead caps. So I just kind of made this decision, and thankfully the jasper and the aquaterra jasper were the same size beads, so I was able to quickly pick up this pattern. And so one side is going to be a turquoise with a red, and then one is going to be the jasper with the red. So it doesn't really matter what side you put that on, but we're going to assemble the necklace now. I have a 6mm jump ring here that I'm going to put on the pendant. I'm going to choose what side I want. I think I do want this side, this side to be the front. And so from here, actually I'm going to need more jump rings for that, which is totally fine. So we'll close this one up. Let me get some pliers here. Make sure we're closing it really well. If I can fit another jump ring in here, I will, and it looks like I'll be able to. Just for stability, this is a big chunky pendant here. So let me see, another 6mm. This is in bright silver. And so we'll see how this feels. Okay, feels pretty good, feels pretty good. So then what I want to do is, do I want to take a thicker jump ring for this? I think so. So we've kind of created what looks like a bail here, but I'm going to take a larger jump ring. This is probably an 8. And this is where I'm going to join both sides of our necklace onto it. And I really love that pop of red from the soft flex. That's really, really cool. So let's just close it up and see how it hangs. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This is how she's gonna hang. And so I think one jump ring will be fine. So we'll go to the back here. I have these pieces were about 7 inches long, so I did one about a 20-inch necklace. So I added about 3 inches of chain. I put 2 pieces of chain on each side here. You can see here I've cut 4 pieces of chain. So I'll need a couple more jump rings here. And what I'm gonna do is hopefully be able to pick up both chains in here. This is kind of a dainty chain, so we'll see. We may have to, oop, just barely. So we're definitely gonna have to make sure that these jump rings are closed really well. I'm gonna take one side of the necklace while I'm at it here. Add it. Make sure that is super well closed. I'm gonna actually scrunch it a little bit with my pliers to create a flat edge almost. And then I'm going to make sure that my chains are not crossed and pick them up again with another jump ring. Let's open that. And I'll go with this side first, and then this side. So again, we are not crossed. And let's see what side of the necklace this is. So this is actually going to be the ring side, because I like to put my toggle bar on the right side when I'm wearing it. And so again, we're going to repeat this process here. We got another 6mm jump ring. Pick it up one at a time. And we've got our necklace piece here. That beautiful turquoise side. Blue's not my super favorite color, especially like a turquoise, but I do like the actual stone, the actual Aqua Terra Jasper. I really do like that stone. All right, so we're gonna lay our chains out side by side here. Make sure they're not tangled. Again, take another jump ring, pick them up one at a time. We got one, and then we've got two, and then we've got our toggle bar. And then we've got that on there really nice. And I'm gonna zoom out. So here is our necklace. And I love it actually. It actually turned out a little bit better than I thought it would. I didn't think it would turn out bad, but I didn't know if it would turn out to be something like video worthy maybe. Anyway, we're just playing, right? And you don't have to make this exact necklace, obviously. You can take some little tips and tricks from what I use to make this necklace, and you make it your own, because that is the most fun part about creating jewelry. But here she is, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you've done with your bargain bead box this month, and I will put an outro video on the end here with a bust so you can see how she lays. I hope everybody's staying safe and well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.